Hello, time travelers and fact fanatics. Welcome back to, you guessed it, the shiny-headed historian. And I'm Mr. J, your host, the man with more history jokes than hair follicles. And trust me, that's not a high number. Today, we're going to answer the question that's more packed than a middle school locker in June. What are the 3 types of history? I know, one of them isn't the history of video games. Although, someone call me if that becomes a course. Let's dive in. Historians, those brainy folks who dig through the past, often sort history into 3 major types: social history, political history, and economic history. Think of them as 3 flavors of ice cream history uses to scoop up the past. So, let's break them down. First up, social history, the people's history. This is where historians look at everyday life. We're talking families, traditions, celebrations, clothing, food, schools, sports, you name it. If you've ever wondered, what did kids my age do 200 years ago? That's social history. Spoiler alert, no TikTok, but lots of chores. Historians studying social history look at things like how people lived, how they were treated, how their culture shaped who they were. It's like a backstage pass to the lives of regular folks, the unfamous people who still made history happen. Next up is political history, the power players. We're talking the governments, laws, elections, revolutions, kings, queens, presidents, protests, and probably a lot of paperwork. Political history answers the questions like, who was in charge? What laws did they pass? Why did countries go to war? Or, on the other end, why did they make peace? Basically, if someone wore a crown, held a gavel, or made people argue on TV, congrats. They're in political history. Kind of like your principal, but with more swords. And finally, drum roll, please. Economic history. It's all about money, trade, jobs, resources, and how people made a living. Economic historians study things like what people bought and sold, how much did things cost, why certain jobs were important, what happened during booms and busts, like the Great Depression, which, spoiler alert, was not a party. Think of it as the budget tracker of history. Except nobody had apps, and the coins were really heavy. So, quick recap for those of you multitasking while cleaning your room, which I hope you're doing. Social history is everyday people and culture. Political history is power, government, and laws. Economic history is money, work, and trade. Each one tells a different side of the story. Kind of like 3 friends who all saw the same movie, but each remembers a different part. Alrighty then, quick quiz time. Answer these in your head or out loud if you're brave. If you're studying ancient clothing, which type of history are you using? Hint, it's not Banana Republic history. If you're learning about war started by a king, what kind of history is that? Bonus points if the king wore a funny hat. If you're exploring how farmers sold crops in the 1800s, again, what kind of history is that? Hint, it's a corny topic, literally. Got 'em? Good. If not, rewind and listen again. No judgment. Even I forget stuff sometimes, like where I put my coffee. Thanks for hanging with me on The Shiny-Headed Historian. Remember, history is not just about old stuff. It's about people, power, and paychecks. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep learning, and always, always respect the past, even if it had weird hairstyles. I'm Mr. J, signing off with one last dad joke. Why did the historian break up with the calendar? Because they felt dated. Ba-dum, psst. Till next time.